Battlefield Hardline is the latest entry in the Battlefield series. This time, however, behind the helm is Visceral Games, who are better known for their Dead Space series. They've traded in the camo overalls for a police badge and a pair of aviators. It's a bold new direction for the series, but the only question is, does it feel like a fully fledged game, or something that they should have tried maybe with DLC?
Run through it!
Hang on! You wanted to see me, sir?
The story sees you play as a cop named Nick Mendoza, and your first assignment sees you trying to take down a drug cartel in the area. For the most part, you pretty much succeed, but you soon find out that the bad guys aren't the Glock-wielding drug addicts, and the game takes a very interesting twist about halfway through. The story is actually pretty good. In fact, it's probably one of the best Battlefield storylines I've come across. The game also does a good job of reminding you what just happened and what's to come in sort of like an old school cop TV show type of way, and it's really well put together. Think of it like a Bad Boys meets Miami Vice type vibe. Now, although the story is pretty good, the actual campaign isn't that fun to play. There's a major emphasis on stealth, and to be honest, they're way too frequent. I would have much preferred more car chases instead of the stealth sequences, but sadly, there's only like 2 or 3 car chases in the game. Another dynamic they've added in the game is flashing your police badge, which basically acts as an instant win button. Second you flash your badge, no matter how armed the guys are, they just drop their weapons and surrender. Doesn't even make sense. Overall, sadly, the campaign is very underwhelming. But we all know why we play Battlefield games, and it's certainly not for the campaign. It's for the batshit insane multiplayer.
Suspect taken out!
Visually, Battlefield Hardline is a bit of a mixed bag. The micro-destruction certainly looks good when you're having firefights indoors, and the PlayStation 4 version, which is this version, runs at 900p and 60 frames a second, which is quite a big difference compared to the 720p Xbox One version. But I can't help but feel that this game looks more like Battlefield 3 than anything we saw in Battlefield 4. The character models are pretty decent, but the multiplayer really does feel like a step back visually, especially after the epic Battlefield 4 visuals we had a year ago. So visually, it's not that strong. Like I said before, we play Battlefield games for the multiplayer, and Hardline certainly doesn't disappoint, especially its hotwire mode. It's basically like a high-speed version of Conquest, but instead of flags, the tickets are depleted by capturing cars and driving them around the map at breakneck speeds. There's some other great modes as well, like Blood Money, that has you try steal a pile of cash and take it back to your pile, as well as Heist and some various other classic modes. But for me personally, Hotwire is where I had most of the fun. All in all though, the multiplayer in Hardline is well worth it.
One of our cars is destroyed.
So at the end of the day, Battlefield Hardline is certainly filled with its highs and lows. Its story is pretty good, its campaign is dull and a little boring, but its multiplayer is high-speed, crazy action that is worth the purchase price alone. It could have been better, but it's certainly not that bad. I personally wouldn't mind a sequel, but to be honest, all I really want is Star Wars Battlefront. In my veins, DICE! Put it in my veins! Valley of the Yetis is the latest DLC for the highly popular Far Cry 4. The previous DLC, Escape from Degursh, was a load of schlock. So hopefully this DLC is a lot better. But hang on guys, we got a little something special for you this episode.